Hello and welcome back to Exchanges, the Alex Martin podcast. Today we are joined alongside the GOAT and one of his prodigies. Please welcome Vincent and Dom Goldstein. That all right?
Thanks, guys. It's in my days, goat meant like an old animal with a long beard.
Do you know what it means now?
Yes, it's the best,
the greatest
of all time. Yeah,
The greatest of all time.
Oh,
Would you
wow.
call your dad the
That's
greatest
a big
of all time?
exaggeration, but let's see if I can live up to
Call
it.
him the Jew father. That's what I call him. It's a good title.
But is he the...
maybe goat? He doesn't eat lamb very much, so I probably wouldn't call him a goat, but I'd call him the Jew father. And
I walk like a goat these days. I've got to be honest. Everything's hurting me, you know.
You've never done a podcast before, have you?
Sorry?
You've never done a podcast before, have you?
Not really. No. I got interviewed once, like about careers and stuff, you know. And they sort of cut it after 15 minutes and kicked me out. So let's see if we can do better. Oh, do you know Ed Collins? Remember Ed? He used to make, I don't know, one stage he was producing little films and stuff. So.
Really?
Yeah.
He's local property guy, isn't he?
Yeah, Ed. Yeah.
Well, and that lasted long, I presume. 15 minutes.
That's what I do. Listen, if you're no good at anything, you become a property developer,
Yeah,
right?
well.
Look, it's an honour to be sat here in front of you. I've heard nothing but good things. Big name in the industry. But I like to take it back to where it all started.
Yes.
Not with you first,
Yes.
but with Alex.
Yes.
Where did it all start with Alex Dawson and Alex Martin? And what were your first impressions?
God, you know what? Don't look at me like that, Alex, but
He's undressing you at the moment.
he made such an impression, I can't even remember when I first met him, to be honest with you. But
You were
go on.
a legend when I worked for Terry Mack, which I'm sure we'll talk about at some
Yeah, we
point.
need to talk
But I
about
never
that.
really got to speak to you much other than saw you occasionally.
Yeah.
But when I left Terry, you called me about a site in Catford.
Amazing memory you got.
That was my first proper deal. It's what got me going. And you
No,
went,
no, you've given me
worth
the,
about $1 million as
Yeah.
a resi play, but it feels a bit churchy.
you've given me the opportunity to name drop here.
Yeah, okay, go
You
on.
really have. Because at the time, my partner was really friendly with Mike Ashley.
Okay.
And that was a choice on that property. Mike Ashley wanted it for Sports Direct. And I think you thought they had potential as a church.
Yeah.
And I think when push came to shove, and this is to Mike's credit, like we used to go on holiday with him and stuff, and you'd go gambling. And he never had a care in the world. He was like crazy guy. But in business, he just didn't. Every detail was so important to him. And he went, right, I'll give you a 10-year lease, but no rent review at 5 years. I went, do me a favour, you've got to have a rent review. No one takes a 10-year lease.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, he'll give in on it. And he just never gave in on it. And in the end, I think we did the deal.
Yeah, I think you put down like a 6-month option on it or something, went and got the F1
Yeah.
and make like $500,000 on it.
Yeah, and then... No,
I remember punching the air. They earn like a 20 grand fee, and thinking, "Hey!" Now
can't believe
that
I
would
didn't
be the
knock you
case.
for
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
It's unbelievable.
yeah.
But,
I learned a lot of lessons of that deal.
You got the needle over that as well.
Yeah,
I'm sure he copped the needle, but you know.
So you're 1-0 up against Mike
there
Ashley.
you go. I didn't know that, but great.
Oh my God, he's like, I think he's like Premier League property
Yeah,
trader in terms of how many people that he's not had over, but sort of beaten to the post.
Okay.
He's the
Do you
man.
still do much with him, or is he as active?
Nothing, because at the time it was a point in time where I had a very crazy partner who was a big gambler, and I think Mike was a big gambler in his leisure time, and they mated up, and then we did a load of business together, and I didn't really do much direct with him, but that was just one of these things that I just thought, I don't know why, I don't even know. It just came up, an agent said, oh, Sports Direct to be interested, so I thought, well, I'll save a lot of time and ring him direct, you know, and that happens sometimes.
Let's keep these stories going, by the way. Dom,
Yep.
for the very few listening that don't know what VFund is, can you explain to me what VFund is, where it started, and then Vincent, I'd like you to take over.
VFund is a jack of all trades, master of none. Try and turn 50p into a pound, looking for opportunities, spotting creative ways and working with good people, and looking for property that is good to own, or where there's value there, where you need to scratch the surface to find the jewels, really. So it's a bit of a everything is a bit of a venture. You know, we can agree to buy things with the view of one option, and then we could be a couple of months down the line, something hasn't gone to plan, and then we switch it, and it could go well, could go bad. But you know, I think for us, it's more a case of, you know, finding opportunities that we really want to be a part of, and can see ourselves holding in the long term. You know.
I think we're the Tottenham Hotspur of the property game.
I would say that.
That is
Now
a
hold on,
disgrace.
don't before let me
That's a good
let me
shout.
get to first stage, right? Right. We got less money than everybody else, but we try and get creative,
Ooh.
and we just do enough. We just do enough, you know. But
Occasionally win something.
What do you mean you got less money than everyone else? Tottenham have got loads of money.
no, that's not true. You got to put the money in. You got to put the money in. So, for example, Tottenham's an organic business, right? They don't generally go to third parties for money, you know, like so. They shouldn't need to go to third parties for money because Joe Lewis should put it in. But Joe Lewis, for whatever reason, it's an investment. He's put his money in, and he takes the view he don't want to put any more money in. So
Sustainable is probably the word, isn't it?
yeah, I think that's why there's a lot of frustration, I think, at the moment, because I think the next stage for Spurs and for all the teams that you look at, if you're not unbelievably commercially successful, I know we are commercially successful, but say you're like Man United level, yeah, it's like I think they're sort of uncapped in terms of what they can invest, or it appears to be. They've got such good resources. Whereas I think Spurs can only get to the next level if someone starts loosening the purse strings, which is always can be risky, can't it, if you don't spend it correctly.
So how does that relate to VFund?
Well, because I think as well we haven't got incredible funding. We're organic. We sort of use our own resources, and that limits us a bit, but also means that we have to structure things cleverly, and you know we have to trade out things. You know, so can't maybe take long-term views on stuff. But I think you're quite similar to that, aren't you? With
I'm not in your league, Vince.
no?
Very successful. But I heard that you weren't the sharpest tool in the shed in your younger days.
It's a bit out of order.
Well, no, it's what I've heard.
Where'd you hear that
I
from?
don't
You?
think I'm the sharpest
Not
tool in
me.
the shed now. But go on, yeah.
Did you always have a sort of entrepreneurial mindset growing up, but didn't have that academic side of things?
So, I went to a jolly good school, but I didn't really have the concentration to study, and I was a little bit of a letdown. And I did actually get into a law college in Chelmsford, and I went to about 3 or 4 lectures and then decided this wasn't for me. But I didn't have the balls to tell my mum and dad, so I used to go to Smith's in Ilford every day, read the magazines, have a cup of tea, and go home and pretend I'd been studying. And actually, when I told my dad about 5-6 years later, he went absolutely mental at me. He was so annoyed with me. But
Were
I
you just bored?
Hmm?
Were you just bored there? It wasn't. You were stretched.
I
and
just
didn't...
no. Do you know what? I'm just not. I don't think I'm academic. I'm just not academic. I haven't got the concentration. I even look at people now when they do things. I think, wow, like how can you just sit there for days and days and days studying? You know, it's so difficult. And then I messed around on a few jobs. And my uncle, who was a surveyor in the West End, said, I think you like property. And I became a commercial agent, and it fascinated me. I don't know if it fascinates you. How can you buy a property and then a week later sell a property for more money? How can that be?
When I was younger, I always wanted to be a property investor
Yeah.
because I'd watch YouTube videos of people just buying and selling properties, and I thought, that is easy. That's easy.
Well, it was at one stage, yeah.
Buy it for £1, sell it for 2.
Yeah.
But I didn't know until I worked for these. I know they don't buy properties, but I didn't know until I worked for them. There's so much goes into it that it's actually, in terms of flipping the property or making a profit, that's the last thing people think about. It's all about legals and all that. I thought that was so boring.
How long ago did you work for these guys? Or with these guys?
2 years?
2 years ago.
2022, isn't it?
22 to 23.
Yeah, but you've got to remember, because I'm an old fart, I've done this a long time, there's been markets where literally you could look at a property and go, do you know what, that's cheap. You can buy it in a day, and then you almost know who you're going to sell it to, and the next day it's sold. It's become so much more complicated and prescriptive, isn't it? You know, because obviously the guy you're selling it to, half the time he needs bank finance and all this kind of stuff. So it's just a lot harder. I feel a bit sorry for all the young guys, because it's like it was a lot easier in my day. I think it's really difficult now.
And
really
when
difficult.
did that all change? Was that pre-2008 or much prior to that?
I think, it started about then, and I think it's a bit of regulation. It's a little bit, because obviously the banks have tightened up, and we're a leveraged game, and as soon as the banks tighten up, yes, you've got guys that have got cash, but they want value for their buck. So therefore, if you're going to turn something, generally, you might need to do it to someone who's reliant on bank funding. So
Do you think the internet and everything never being
internet
nothing's
massively,
ever off market anymore?
Massively, it's much easier to access information. So I think there's quite a few things that conspired, and over the last few years, it's been cost of money. And actually, we were looking the other day. I don't think I haven't got anything to back this up other than doing a few developments or selling a few developments that we did years ago. I don't think we're getting any more now than we did 10 years ago for flats and stuff. I don't. You've not had any capital growth.
Yeah.
So whereas again, even if you were a crap dealer and you thought I can turn this, even if you got it wrong, if you hold it for 6 months or whatever, you'd probably sell it because the market was going up. And that doesn't bail you out anymore, unfortunately.
So you didn't have the attention span in your youth. How did you find the attention span to do what you do now? Because a lot of it must be quite boring, no?
So I think, as I said, I was fascinated by the aspect of it, that you could sort of trade properties and what have you. And then obviously once I got into it, I realised, as you say, there is a bit more to it. You got to recognise the value, and you got to know how to bring out the value. And it's a bit like when you're an agent, you got to know your punter and know your product. Yeah, if you know those two things, you can often create a margin. So,
and back in the day, what was your punter and product?
So, the punters were people that didn't have access to the raw material like I did. So it's no different. Like, if you go to an auction, that probably implies you can't find it privately. So you could, in theory, buy something privately, stick it in an auction. Yeah, and the product. I think product's always changing. At one stage, it was little houses, and it was sites. When I look at the history of what I do a lot. Whereas I'm slightly different from these guys. I'd say our main thing was planning. Not bricks and mortar, maybe more planning. Yeah. So we bought a lot of land and stuff. But at one stage, we were selling to house builders. Then they got a bit tricky, so we sold to housing associations. Then they got a bit tricky, so we converted it to student. We're selling it to funds. So your punter's changing all the time, all the time.
That's one of the best bits of advice I ever got, was know your punters.
Yeah.
So simple, but so effective.
Oh, really? I think, and all the little cliches are so true in, location, know your punters, all these things, all these fundamentals are so important.
Yeah.
So important.
So can you talk me through the birth of VFund? What were you doing prior to that?
Wow. Right. So, I'm going to give you a very quick plotted history. So, did this bit of agency, thought I could develop, met a guy in a pub who said he could build, became partners with him, started building a few houses, realised it was bloody hard work, because by the time you put your money into the houses, by the time you got out of them, all the profit did was pay your overdraft off, so we were never getting forward. So I said to the guy, look, I think we got to leverage up, let's try and trade. And the first trade we ever did was a block of retail shops in Ridley Road. Stretton's was selling, and it was like a tender. Market was a bit crap, but it just seemed cheap. Lots of income, bit of break-up potential. Bought it. Got a very strange call about a week after we bought it. By the way, this is a little addendum to the story. I didn't realise it was a formal tender. So a formal tender means if you make an offer, you're bound. You have to buy it. Yeah, you're legally bound. Yeah. It's not like an informal. It's like, so normally, you bid on a house, £1 million. Fine, I don't want to buy it. Here, I made a bid and it was formal, so they could have sued me if I didn't buy it. I didn't even realise that was that stupid. Yeah. Anyway, we bought it, and then I got a call from a bloke who's a mate now, and he's like, I thought, is this a wind-up? This guy goes, I can't believe you bought this in front of me. I own everything in Ridley Road, blah, blah, blah. It was a guy called Phil Newman. Do you know Phil? No, anyway, he's a local Essex boy.
No.
Anyway,
Sorry.
so I turned it to him, and we became traders. And then although my partner was a builder, he was a very good networker. Then we got in with, I can't remember what they're called. Do you know the who owns the most sitting tenant houses? I don't even know if anyone does it anymore. Gary Murphy's sister used to work there. But anyway, we got in with this company, and they used to sell us all their vacants. So they never used to buy out tenants, but every time they had so much stock that every time someone died, it was like, it looked like a probate or left. They used to give them £1,000 in those days. And that's all they give them, £1,000 for their moving expenses, £1,000. But the difference was, in those days, you could be, the house was worth 50% of its retail value because it was tenanted. So there was a massive upside. So they'd sell them a little bit keen to us, and then we'd go and do them up. They were all in sort of crap order. And I think we did, like, in 1 year, we maybe did 30 to 40 of these houses. And we were mainly trading them, but often we just give them a little tart up and sell them and what have you. And then that world changed a bit, like you said, because of the internet and what have you, and we moved on a bit, and we felt like we couldn't expand doing that. So then we went into land. And although this guy had been a builder, he learned the game very quickly, and he was just like me, really. And he sort of he could recognise the opportunity. So we bought land unconditionally. We got planning. We flogged it to the house builders, as I said. And then eventually we were joined by this third partner, and three's a crowd.
Three can be a bit of a
Three's
crowd.
a crowd, yeah. And he was very charismatic, and he's a proper businessman, and he didn't get on with the other guys, so I had to choose, and the other guy went off into the sunset. He's doing very well for himself, but he never really spoke to me again. And I probably was a bit out of order, but I just thought, you know what, it just felt right. And then we built a business together. This guy was just inspired, like he wanted to be top dog, and he worked 24 hours, 7 days a week to do it. He was an incredible networker. We went to the West End. We built a big company up. It got
Sorry, can I just quickly interrupt you?
Of course.
Do you mind me asking, did you come from money in the first place to be able to invest in all of this sort of stuff?
No, not really. I
feel like we've
probably
missed
the
a
bits I missed
chapter.
out because it was a summary. I'm loving the way you're picking these little things up.
He's
Loving
good,
it.
isn't he?
He is good. He don't miss a trick.
Yeah. He doesn't know what he's talking about, but he knows
He
enough.
does sometimes.
No, he knows
Is there
enough.
someone behind him working him?
There's someone in my
Has
ear.
he got, yeah, like Mission Impossible?
He is good, though.
Yeah, he's genuine interest. He likes to work people
No,
out.
because he's picked
Yeah,
up. That's a great spot.
Yeah.
So when we were selling the houses, my solicitor, who is he's like my uncle-ish, he said, "Oh, look, I like what you're doing, and actually, I need to row back. I used to work for a company that got bought out by Ladbrokes. They introduced me to a guy who's sold out C&A. He funded us for a bit when we were doing the houses, because it was like, we had to do a lot of it. Anyway, he was like a venture capitalist. He got involved in too many things, went bust. And then my uncle said, "Oh, do you know what? I've seen what you can do. I'll put some money into you." And he put some money into us, but it was indirectly through one of Daniel's companies.
By putting money in, how does that work in terms of
Yeah.
what return does he get? What are you getting?
So, right, when I was working with my uncle, I think he's still alive, so I have to be careful what I say. In theory, it was like, you get an interest rate and we split the profit, yeah?
Okay.
But what happened, unfortunately, got very murky, and there was interest on interest, and you get to the end of the deal, and it was like, a bit like when you reconcile your profits to me. Do you know what I mean?
Obviously, yeah.
Where's the profits gone? No, well, and anyway, one day, and this is why actually I probably made the right decision. Yeah. So, my new partner said, or maybe it was before he was the new partner, before he'd fallen out with the other guy, said to us, "I don't know what you doing. You're going for your uncle. Like, you know where the money is. Why don't we just go direct to the money?" And I was like mates with Daniel. Like, so
I'm sure I've heard that in a gangster movie before.
Yeah, so
go to source.
so anyway, so basically we started dealing directly. We had a company. It was called Rock, and it was funded by ENIC. And ENIC, as you know, was Joe Louis and and
ENIC out.
Huh?
That's trending. ENIC out.
Oh God.
Can you give your thoughts on that or no?
We'll save that for later.
Let's
mate.
end about.
No, I knew I was going to be asked it, so like, I'll tell you what I can say. Yeah, it's a bit like what I said before, right? Within Daniel's brief, he has done as good as a person can possibly do, because you know Daniel's not the billionaire. Do you know what I mean? So. You know, what can he do if he can't get the guy to put money in? But you know, I suppose there comes a point where there's no doubt in my mind, like he will be trying. It's a matter of time, you know. He will find a way of raising the money to go to the next stage. The problem is, I think football's moved on so much, you know. So if you were standing here today and all these state-sponsored companies and hadn't come along, yeah, he'd probably be looking like a genius, because you know we'd be one of the top clubs. But unfortunately, we've been overtaken by one or two clubs that have been a bit more speculative than us, you know. And as I said, our model doesn't allow us to be speculative. So
I don't want to go too off tangent,
Yeah,
but
sorry.
from an Arsenal fan's perspective, I look at Spurs, I look at what Levy's done with Spurs, and I can't fathom why people don't like him. He turned Spurs into a massive club.
Yeah.
You've got one of, if not,
That's debatable.
well, not massive, but big club.
You turn them into a big organ, like a big.
They're a big club. Best stadium in Europe.
that building's quite tall.
You kept all of your best players while you were transitioning into that stadium. You still spent boatload of money. You've just won a trophy. You're signing good players. I don't know what else is wanted, to be honest. I think it's
Well, I
I
think
think
it's-
it's
I
so
think it's an
greedy.
alienation thing, maybe, that some fans feel, but it's a fabricated alienation thing. But in the sense of, you know, maybe they see him as too detached. You know, we haven't got statues of our most famous players outside the ground. It's a great stadium, yes, and it's amazing what he's done. But a lot of fans, you know, there's a bit of tribalism, and it's feeling like someone's got the club's best interests, which Daniel does from a financial perspective. But the thing that people miss is, you know, having all these sponsorship deals probably means he has to sacrifice a little bit in terms of on the heritage front. So things like that don't help.
don't help. Yeah, I think like it's the expectation. You know, the minute you get that ground and you've got a fantastic training ground and everything, everyone thinks, oh, we're there. And every time, you know, it's a bit like that Morgan Gibbs right. I think every time as a Spurs fan, you think, oh, this is it. We bought 2 players in a week. Something goes wrong. But and I think it's because of the limitations of what we got. But like, yeah, when you even that stadium, you know, like I know you've seen a few of the films about him talking about it and stuff. The work that went, he would have lived and breathed that.
Yeah,
you know,
mental.
lived
People
and
don't
breathed it.
appreciate that though. They care about what's on the pitch,
Yeah, no,
and
I
obviously
get it.
that
Well,
is the most
yeah,
important
That's what
thing.
football fans.
Well,
care.
yeah,
I
of
would
course.
I would defend them though. They're paying big prices.
Yeah.
Are they paying any less than Arsenal? I don't know, or any less than all these big clubs that have got incredible success. You know. But let me tell you a story very quickly, because once, I think Daniel's abroad years ago. I've got to mention this. Don't get annoyed with me, but we were 2-0 down at half time. He said, "You can take my seat." So I'm sitting in the chairman's seat.
Away at Arsenal.
We're 2-0 down.
Cabal.
Keir's texting me. You know the game. Keir's texting me going, "Oh, I've had enough of this, Dad." I said, "Keep the faith, keep the faith." But I'm thinking, you know, we're going to get battered here. Anyway, we won through. Probably the last time we ever won at Arsenal. Cabal
is.
scored that goal in the last minute. So I went with Daniel's right-hand man, and he said, this was obviously way before we'd built the stadium, and they'd arranged to me that. This is the crazy thing. Although we all banter and everything, they're very close. All these, you know, like the commercial guy at Arsenal will be very friendly with the commercial guy at Spurs, and
Well,
It
he's
just
now at
becomes.
Spurs.
yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was anyway. So we met some guy there, and he said, "Oh, well, I've arranged a tour of Arsenal." And he went round, and this Spurs guy was going to me, "Wow, this is fantastic." He goes, "But you know, I just love the way." He said they've Arsenalised it. They built the stadium, and then they got hold of some of the corporate areas and really Arsenalised it and everything. He goes,
You
"But
invented a new word there.
Arsenalised.
That is a cool word.
Arsenalised.
That is a
It
cool
sounds
word.
a bit too much like analysed, doesn't it? But, so, and he said to me, "Oh, look, you know what? Daniel's going to do this and a bit more." So they went to all these grounds. They saw what other people were doing. So the detail is fantastic. You've got to take your hat off, and that's where I do agree with you. I'm like really conflicted on it. Like I'm on WhatsApps where people are absolutely slating him, and I feel like I want to really defend him because I know, I know how he's doing it, how he's trying to do it. But as I said, unfortunately, money talks, doesn't it? You know what I mean? We know that if, I've done it to a certain extent, you've got great owners now, but there was a stage, wasn't there, where your guy were like, he wasn't spending what he's spending
He
now.
was
He's
spending money on his American clubs and
yeah,
stuff,
and
isn't it? Yeah.
he's gone boom. Like, let's have this, and he's starting spending money, and there's no supplementing that really. Like unless you're prepared to invest, and I don't know how we get to that point. Maybe they've got to sort of reduce their equity, or
Yeah.
I'm hoping. Listen, he might have done. Maybe he does an incredible sponsorship deal, or even if we do a naming rights deal, and he knows that there's X coming in, then he can invest a bit more.
Could it be
You-
called the VFund Arena?
The VFund Arena. It's got a ring to it, hasn't it? The VFund Arena. Well, we've just sponsored the local donut shop because the
Not
kids got a
bad.
football, their own football team. So I'm not sure under current UEFA rules whether we'd be allowed to
Oh, really?
sponsor.
Is that what's blocking it?
But where we have failed, actually, I'd say forget the money and everything. It's the football side, isn't it? Because I think maybe it's a one-off. Leicester, they proved well. Actually,
Can't be done.
a miracle can happen. We haven't had since Kane. We haven't really had many academy products, and we haven't been selling young players for lots of money. We haven't really been selling even some of our established players for big money, and I think that holds you back massively, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest. If you got 2 or 3 young players and you can sell them for 100 million or whatever, you can go and invest, and we haven't been able to do that.
A conversation to be had more in depth off camera, maybe.
Definitely. Why don't I come round your house?
With pleasure.
I'm happy to drink my coffee out of an Arsenal mug, as you know.
As I know, yeah. Okay.
Have you got an Arsenal mug?
Of course.
He is an Arsenal.
We don't
mug.
have. We don't have Spurs mugs.
I've got a Leeds mug. That's a story for another
Are
occasion.
you crazy? No, I drink out of an Arsenal mug, and you drink out of a. That just shows Spurs fans are quite flexible, no?
Joe's not flexible.
Oh,
Literally.
no, we'll talk about it later, actually.
Oh,
We'll
but
talk about it.
no, let's talk about it now.
Okay, we can talk about it now. I mean, I'm very interested in your life and your
Oh,
prodigy.
sorry, you ask questions.
But,
I'm talking too much.
No, we can quickly touch on it.
Would you say
You've
Joe's
known Joe
flexible?
for a long time,
Yeah,
no?
yeah,
Since he was a baby.
yeah. He was really, really annoying, really annoying, and he hasn't
Still
changed
am.
much, to be honest with you.
And who did Joe support when he was younger? Out of interest.
Well, because he's like, I know he likes to give it the street boy, but he's a little private school boy. I think he went to some little.
Anglo-Saxon.
Actually, did you go to the school that we bought in Palmerston
No, I
Road?
went Dayglen, 2
Dayglen.
doors down.
2 doors down, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, everything was fine. It's quite weird because his dad's a Man United fan, so I'm not quite sure. How come you're in? Why Spurs?
Because he wanted to go to the football with
Oh,
you
yeah.
and your mates every week,
Oh yeah.
and he said anyone but Arsenal.
And then
And then
yeah,
we'll leave it at
and then
that.
one day Joe just declared, or Paula, as I like to call your dad, he declared that Joe's an Arsenal fan now. I think he might have even had a shirt, you know that.
You mean Spurs?
And it
No, Arsenal.
no Arsenal fan. He became an Arsenal fan for about, I reckon it was like a good year, wasn't it?
He told me it was like a day. He said it was 24
No, I'm
hours.
telling you, it was a year and I used to talk to him, and he was so
What?
obnoxious. I went, you can't change your team. You can't. No, all my mates at school, they like Arsenal. I want to be Arsenal.
Oh my God.
It's bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
How old was he at the time?
He was about 26.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't write any poems to Sol Campbell, did you? No, you wouldn't go that far.
Can we just leave it there?
I can
Is
see
that
where
true? Can you
Jensen
verify
gets
that?
it from.
I can verify it. I can verify.
Oh
I'll give you a quick
my-
Sol Campbell story.
Please.
Because looking back, it was weird. So my son Dylan, he loves Spurs. doesn't he,
Yeah,
Dylan? He's the most fanatical in our family, really. And he was a mascot, and Sol Campbell held his hand, kicked the ball out with him, and I'm thinking, oh, fantastic. At the time, I'm thinking, fantastic, fantastic. For some reason, he just kept waving at a mate of mine in the crowd that he really liked. And he just spent the whole time, even when Sol was kicking in the ball, waving at this. I was like, Sol Campbell. So I think Dylan had instincts that Sol Campbell was going to be disloyal. to
Dylan
me.
is incredible, by the way. He's got this uncanny ability. He could spot a
Yes.
random person
Yes.
from a mile away. Like, we were on a beach in Thailand, very, very remote place. He spotted the captain of Shakhtar Donetsk in the sea.
Yeah, it was just a head bobbling about. And he went.
What?
He didn't even do that. He pointed him and he went, Daryl Cerner, because that's what he talks very quietly. Daryl Cerner. I went, what deal? He went, Daryl Cerner. Daryl's. I went, all right, okay. I just ignored it. Anyway, next day I've gone in the gym and you've got to sign in the gym, and I've looked in front of me, it's Daryl Cerner. So I've looked him up, captain of Croatia, or played for Croatia.
I bet he's good at Where's Wally.
Yeah, I haven't tried him on that. Yeah.
Let's get back to
Sorry.
it. I'm loving it, but
Come on.
you're busy guys. Don't want to run out of time. I think we were at Rock, I believe.
Yes,
just
the Rock,
before
yeah.
the birth of VFund.
Yeah, and I think what I was telling you was that, we had funders, and I think that's the key. I mean, I think it's very hard again. As much as you hear, oh, it's amazing. Like, even I think Mike actually used to say to me, like, people think I'm overnight. I've been doing this for 25 years. What happens is, most of these guys that make a lot of money, they might not reveal it to you, but they've found someone. They've proved to people they're good at what they do, and they've gone and got backing, because you can only get so far without backing. And then when you get the backing, you do one or two things. You make a lot of money, which you can then become your own investor, or you build a company up together with whoever backs you, and one day you buy them out, and you've got an enormous company. So that's how it goes. And we did. So that's what Rock did. Rock sort of used other people's money, did very well, and then one day my partner said, your heart's not really in it, which it wasn't. And he goes, I said, all right, well, look, if you want to take it, you buy my shares out. So I just moved on, and then came back to Loughton, because I like the coffee. I think I left my glasses in goals this morning. So annoying. And yeah, just started doing my own thing. Interesting. I was talking about this week. I never really wanted to have my own. I didn't want to have my own business or be a sole trader or entrepreneur, because I don't like the administration and the stress of running a company. Like when I was at Rock, I had to sort of sack people, and if someone was upset, I had to deal with that, and I hated that. Yeah. I don't particularly like dealing with the banks and stuff like that. And the minute that I left that company, I had to do all those things. And as of today, because I've got Don works with me and my other son Keir, and I call Adam like my stepson, really, because he's like, I've known him forever. They, whereas the boys will do day-to-day management and all the deals, I find nowadays, like, I'm always doing cash flows and dealing with banks and refinances and God knows, like, all the things that I didn't really want to do. But I got a lot of time. I get a lot of time off because the guys are doing the heavy loading, and that has to be done because that's probably the most critical part of running a business.
When did that sort of switch happen?
I think that switched about 4 to 5 years ago.
Ooh. Was there like a specific moment where you just said to your boys, all right, deal with this now? I'm going to the Lloyd.
Yeah, see, I think that you have to recognise as you get older, you just got to recognise the beauty of youth. You guys got more energy, and actually, I think sometimes you could be more detailed because when you're an old fart, you tend to gloss over stuff, and like I said, my concentration isn't great, and I didn't particularly want to go and meet new people. I got plenty of people that I already deal with, so I just thought this would be a good stage. Anyone new contacts me, I'll put them onto the boys. I let the boys run the deals, run the planning, because I don't like going to planning meetings and stuff like that. Yeah. And I just I suppose in reality, I'm a consultant now. Is that fair to say I'm a consultant? Or I'm a bit more than that?
Yeah, probably. Well, yeah, a consultant with that leads on direction as well as just comments.
Yeah. I mean, I think sometimes I have to give the direction of the company because, you feel things happening. Like last couple of years, it's been, I think it's been your time, you know, because you're dealing with bricks and mortar, and that's when things are tough. You have to go back to bricks and mortar, and planning and stuff becomes more difficult because no one wants land in a recession, as has been proved. But
Why?
because you got to go, you're reliant on banks to develop it. Yeah, you got no income, so if you develop it out and it don't work, yes, you can let it and stuff, but you could be sitting there for yonks and yonks, and there's no margin for error. You know, like I've seen so many developments, even over the last couple of months, where guys have built stuff, prices haven't gone up, but their build costs gone up a bit. It's taken a bit longer to sell, and they're in trouble. You think about it, 20% profit sounds a lot on a development, but it can go like that. You know, if resales go down 5%, build costs go up 5%, and it takes you 6 months longer to do it, and all those three things can be very easy to happen. You all of a sudden you're breaking even.
Also, it's because obviously just vacant land, unless it's in commercial use, obviously largely has no income. So it's the first thing that will be taken back at the point that someone's struggling financially and they've got bank funding.
What blew me away with you, Vince, was what you just did there. I've walked around sites with you, and you'll literally do all those calculations in your head, don't work. Where everybody else would go back to the office, get out their Parry's book, work out their yield returns and all the rest of it in a calculator, and they'll come up with the same answer, but it's a week down the line.
Well,
but you walk around the site.
Yeah, there's a few guys in the industry. There was one that used to talk about, Tommy Tompkins used to be able to walk around a building, know exactly what you get out of it. I wasn't actually as good as I thought of that, but what I realised is if you're going to be offered, when it was really busy and you got offered 20 deals a day, you've got to get to the bottom line very quickly. You can't do an appraisal on every one. You can't get architects busy on every one. You've got to like work out what the good ones, what the bad. And then eventually you become quite instinctive about what's right and what's got potential. So I think you have to be able to do that unless you're going to do 1 or 2 deals. But with us, we've always been a turnover business, looking at loads of stuff, trying to buy loads of stuff, you know. But I was going to say, these guys, so again, talking about buildings, you know, I think our best deals, I probably made the most money on land in my business, yeah, because frankly, if you're buying something unconditional and taking that kind of risk, you know, you want to double bubble, and there were times that you double bubble and make loads of money. But if I look at the clever deals we've done, the clever deals have always been where you've bought something, like we got a few Travis Perkins investments, you know, like where we bought them and they're the tenant, but you know, because they're a yard, that when they go, you're going to be able to get some planning and what have you. And actually, one of the fundamentals of a good investment is it worth more vacant than let? Yeah. So if you buy something and your tenant goes bust and you know it's worth more, you can't really go wrong. So that's kind of that would be your peach of a deal if you can find it.
What's your favourite deal you've ever done?
I remember
before you answer that, off the top of your head, how many deals do you think you've done?
God, wow. I think.
I remember one deal. You walking into my mum and dad's house, and the Sunday Times being sat on the dining room table.
Yeah,
and
they called me colourful East End.
That's exactly. And
my mum was really upset.
You just pointed at it and said, "Do you know who that's about?"
Ooh.
And I guessed.
Yeah, that was a mad deal.
Yeah.
See, this is where things have changed, and maybe the internet has changed things. That was probably, how much around that was 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Well, I know there was internet, but I just think it's become much more refined. That just came about because some bloke was walking up and down the road knocking on doors. He knocked on the door of this property, and it was a very historic property where, I mean, they made the bells for Westminster Abbey and all this. It was it was called the Bell Foundry, and it's the most incredible building in Whitechapel. Like, yeah, you literally walk through it, you can smell the history of this building, you know. And the guy had an intermediary that he used to offer stuff to. This bloke used to offer stuff to me. He's mentioned it to me. Gave me a price. I went, I'll have it. It's a steal. It's a steal. You know, you just knew it was a steal. Yeah. Just based on square footage. You know, sometimes you can just go, which you do all the time, don't you? It's X amount of square feet is X amount of price. How can it not be a deal? So anyway, he then come back. He said, "Oh, I made a mistake. It's a few million more." I said, "Oh, look, okay, let me have a think."
A few million more?
A few million more. That's how wrong they got it. Yeah.
It's not a house we're talking about.
Oh, sorry.
Still, how can you get a few million more wrong? Sorry.
Crazy. I know, crazy. I don't know how. Anyway, he just got our timing right. The guy, I think he came out in that article and he said, look, you know, okay, I know Vincent made a lot of money, but at the time we were going bankrupt, you know, and he said we got a lot of criticism for it because it was one of the oldest businesses in England. But from his point of view, he was saying, well, I've been to all these organisations to try and get some either sponsorship or, you know, some investment. No one was interested. So therefore I had another premises that was more suitable to modern day Bell Foundry up in the Midlands, because why would you have one in Whitechapel when you think about it? Yeah. And the building was like a listed building, all sorts of issues of maintaining a listed building. And he just said, like, you know, so therefore Vincent said he'd complete on it quickly. It did the job, and we did the job, and we bought it anyway. I suppose the clever thing there was I then instructed a mate of mine who was extremely professional, because I thought you needed someone that could present it in a very professional way because it was listed, because of the history, because of the planning challenges. And I actually thought, do you know what? I'm sure like an American is going to buy this building because it's like got such a history. And it turned out there was an auction when they were closing the foundry down. They did an auction of all these mini bells. And this guy spent 20 grand buying the bells. And actually he had his eye on buying the building. He made me an offer. And yeah, basically I met him in Soho House in Greek Street to just finalise the deal.
I went there today.
Wow, there we are.
Yeah.
We're so linked, aren't we?
Aren't we?
And he, I don't know, he was like a real character. Like, I don't want to mention him because he's not fair on him, because they might not want to be known publicly. He ran a fund in America. He was like had this crazy sort of Hollywood name. Anyway, my agent said, look, he likes to meet people if he's going to do a deal. So I sat down with him, and he made me an offer, and he made me shake his hand. And I said, look, I'll be honest, I've got to go outside and I've got to ring my partner, and my partner was Gary, and Gary was in Florida. So I said, Gary, look, I've got to ring you, but are you happy with just give me authority to shake this guy's hand at this price? And he went, yeah, of course, yeah, boom. Shook his hand, and all he said to me was, he said, the one condition of the deal was, out of the purchase price, that we had to put £100,000 aside for charity. Yeah,
Nice.
and that, which I said, yeah, of course, look, great idea. And then we did the deal, and then we argued about the charities for ages and ages, because me and Gary wanted to give some to the Big Issue, because we bought the Big Issue building in Vauxhall, moved into Finsbury Park. Anyway, in the end, I just said to the guy, look, I'll tell you what, why don't you take 50 and I'll take 50. You give it to who you want to, and we'll give it to who we want. And we managed to agree it, and went off and did our thing. So
that's your favourite deal that
well,
you've
it's
ever
not
done?
favourite because he mentioned it.
Yeah.
Do I have a favourite deal?
Do you have a favourite of...
What there's one that I've done with Dad that I really love. I just think it was kind of like an absolute ride, but we got to the end of it and we came out of it on top, and I don't quite know how. The Stevenage one that was quite an interesting.
Yeah, because I think there were difficulties, and that's the market had turned on us, and yeah, that's the sort of crazy property story. Isn't it? That's crazy. Like we got planning, bought the thing off these guys with was it a 2-year completion or something?
18 months delayed completion. I'd found it on Rightmove. I knew that we'd looked at it
It's
like
just so
6
crazy.
months before and couldn't do a deal. So I was just canvassing and seeing what was still around, and managed to lock it down. We went and got planning for quite a big build to rent scheme, which thought we were going to make loads of money on. Then build costs went up, interest rates went up. It was going down a negative scale,
But it had a great building.
Yeah.
Going back to bricks and mortar, it had a great warehouse on it, and we always thought there was a bit of value there. And basically, they couldn't find anywhere to move to. So when we came to completion, they went, "We'll buy it back off you." Bear in mind, we hadn't really bought it yet.
just
So
to
we
terminate the contract, basically.
Yeah, so
So we got a profit.
so they paid effectively to rescind the contract. Yeah, because they went.
I heard that before from someone that said that. I think Prideview might have said that they did something very similar. Is that common?
It happens. It happens. It has. Yeah, it does happen. I mean, one of the deals I did with Rock, we bought what's now the Ned. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we bought.
In Liverpool Street.
Yeah.
Just
So-
outside the station.
Yeah, so,
Bank, yeah.
yeah. So we bought it off HSBC,
That's a nice restaurant.
and yeah, the amazing thing was, I thought it was a bit of a white elephant. I walked around it. It was 350,000 square feet gross, but it was like, in those days you didn't have Soho House and everything. I think, what are you gonna do with this? But my partner went, it's just got to be a deal. 350,000 square feet. What's 35 million at 350,000 square feet? How much is that a foot? Is it £100?
£100.
100 quid.
Huh?
Yeah, that's
100 quid.
That is
So it's 100 quid a
mental.
foot we paid
In
for
the
it.
city.
Yeah.
And he was going, it can't be cheap. It can't be cheap.
Yeah.
Anyway, he sold it, or we sold it to a Russian for a load more money. But
What, an oligarch.
I don't know, maybe a mini oligarch.
Yeah.
Not one of the names.
Roman Abramovich.
No, not him.
Yeah.
I've got a Roman Abramovich story though. I think.
Okay, I'd like to hear that
Remind me of that.
later. Yeah.
And this is where my partner was very clever. He put in the deal. Sorry, he sold it to a company, a development company, but he put in the deal that if he could sell it for more money, he would give. They had to accept a 3 million turn. So basically, they put their deposit up. They hadn't completed yet. If we sold it to someone else, he'd give them their deposit back and give them an extra 3 million quid. And that's what happened. This Russian came along, so a company in the middle earned 3 million for nothing.
Oh my.
Yeah, so those were crazy days. Though. I mean, it's like,
Monopoly money.
it was monopoly money, and it was crazy stuff. And like I'm saying, yeah, as I look back, there's so many. Like what I allude to still is these investment deals. Like we bought a car dealership. We paid a little bit more for the investment. We gave the guy wanted to move, so we gave him some money, and then he moved away. It was between two high buildings, so you knew if you got him out, you'd make the money. So although it was an investment and you were paying a bit over for the investment, you knew it had great development potential. I just think like now it would be hard to do that deal because the actual showroom's probably worth more than the site because the land ain't worth that much anymore. It was just what gave us the opportunity was the market was very, very hot. That's what gave us the opportunity. So it really wasn't us being clever. It was just that the market was pushing forward so quickly.
Have you exceeded your own personal expectations? I know you said that you didn't really ever want to be like a entrepreneur, sole business owner. But when you started VFund, did you think that you'd have your kids, your boys working with you, and get to where you are now?
Only from the point of view that when I left the other company, I was thinking like, maybe I should sort of semi-retire because maybe I need a rest. And then what happened was, because I had no overheads, because I was working from home, I sort of became a victim of my own success because I got all the contacts. So basically, Rock had gone bankrupt, so I still had all these great contacts, but I had no overhead, so I could still do a few deals because I had a bit of money, and then it sort of grew quite quickly. No, I never really envisaged. I probably didn't want the business that I've got in some respects because, like I said, I'm not a bloke that likes stress, overheads, and structure. But I think one of the good things that we've done, we've got a portfolio because by being good at planning, we always had the opportunity to create something. And like this is what I think Alex does a lot of this as well. Like you can take a ground floor commercial back because your house builders aren't interested in it, and then you let it to the gym group, and then you stick it in your portfolio. So we built a bit of a portfolio, and I think it's morphed into something that's become really important to me because it's been so crap the last 3 years. I've realised, all I was a trader, and actually you're as good as your next deal. And sometimes you've got to have a little bit of foundation and balance sheet, and we've sort of created that. And now I see the opportunity to improve the income that we've got and probably expand the portfolio. So wherever you get an opportunity to buy something, let it, create a nice income, not leave a lot of money in it, that's what we'll do.
Do you think you're the most joint ventured partner in property?
No, because Stephen Conway Gaillard says that he's got more partners than John Lewis.
What?
Because apparently John Lewis has got loads of partners. That's why it's
John Lewis and
partnership.
Partners, isn't
Yeah,
it?
they are.
Yep.
Do you think you're the nicest joint venture partner then?
No, Phil Cheddar.
Really?
Lovely.
Okay. Phil's a good guy, yeah.
You know Phil, didn't you?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Something about it.
But everyone likes you. There's never a bad word. Everyone even when I've come to you and said, look, want a corner or something, you're like, okay. You know, you're very easy to deal with.
You probably shouldn't put that out on it because everyone will now move.
Well, yeah, that's not good actually, because
Yeah.
I don't want people to know the secret of my success, because it's just about being quite nice and respectful. Because
Yeah.
I think Gary says that I'm a comfortable pair of slippers. How's that? Yeah, because you know what, I don't want to be the most successful, richest bloke. I just want it's a bit of a challenge property, isn't it? It's like you guys, you know, when you see a deal through, it's probably like a bit of a game. It's like playing chess or pad or anything.
Great fun.
Do you enjoy that game?
Yeah.
Because
I do, like
the fact of the matter is, you could retire tomorrow and live a great life.
I'm not so sure I could retire tomorrow, but yeah.
Well, presumably.
No, I think I don't think it's particularly healthy to retire. And actually, someone told me that ping pong's really good for your brain, because there was a woman at the Lloyd. She was about 90 and looked about 65. Yeah. Whereas I'm 65 and not 90. And
You're 65.
Oh, come on down. You know, not gonna
Are you
flatter
really
me, are you?
65?
What?
I mean, you did say that like Harrison Ford is about.
No,
80.
yeah, but I mean the younger version.
Yeah.
You're 65.
Yeah.
You've got like a UFC body build.
You're not looking at my belly.
You haven't seen him in the gym.
Oh, really?
Oh, excuse me. I can lift bigger weights than you, sunshine. I've seen
You'll
your
see him on-
girlfriend helping you
you'll
lift the
see him
weights.
on the paddle court.
Can you
Oh, yeah.
spot for me? Can you spot for me, Lorraine? Anyway, no. So what I worked out the other day is I think property is good for you, because it is like a game of chess, isn't it?
Yeah.
guys.
I always say it's never boring. Sometimes you get fucked
It's not
off,
boring.
but it's never boring.
boring.
Well,
It
apparently
doesn't matter what you do. You can have good and bad days. It is,
Yeah. I mean, like, it can get. I have made some. You know, you got to be honest. We make big mistakes. I mean, I probably made more mistakes last few years than I've ever made. Yeah, and that probably hops back to why I feel very comfortable to let the boys run it. You know, because they're much more detailed than me, and I can be a bit reckless. But you get yourself sometimes in a position where you're totally reliant on something happening, and then it's not fun. Then is it?
No,
you know
squeaky
what I mean?
bum. Then you're waiting.
Yeah. Say you've like bought something and you've agreed to sell it, but the bloke's messing you about, and you're thinking, oh God, I now got to go and get funding and all that, and you know, so it can be stressful if you don't.
Do you embrace that stress though?
No, I'm not.
The reason
I'm not
I
good with the
ask is
stress,
like,
really.
whether you want to say it or not, you're very, very successful. My best friend's dad is very, very successful. He's done very well for himself. He still wakes up every single day, 5 o'clock, in the gym, goes to work, works, comes home, works. He doesn't need to do that. Do you do that?
No, I do only do what I have to do. You can't take your eye off the ball, and you know you need aid memoirs on all your deals. You know, like we have project meetings every week, and I'm always thinking. And sometimes you get up in the morning and you have good ideas. I think, unfortunately, it's very hard not to be obsessed about your business. Do you guys go to bed thinking about it and get up in the morning?
100%. I have to have a podcast playing just to listen to something else rather than my brain.
Yeah, I think we all have that.
Yeah.
But do you ever? Does the alarm ever go off in the morning? And you just think, I've earned my stripes. Fuck off. Just turn it off.
Last few years I felt that more than ever, because it's been stressful. Because when you say, you know, you're, it's a bit like a football. A striker's successful until he stops scoring goals, isn't it? And then he's not so successful anymore.
Yeah.
And it's the same as what we do, in that it's not even a question of deals, right? Because I'm not too bothered about. I don't get, we got to be buying loads of deals. In fact, I've been saying to the boys recently, don't buy so many deals. Let's get rid of some, a bit like a football club, where let's sell a few players before we buy a few players. But when you say successful, yeah, like, all right, we have, over the years, we have managed to do good deals and we've built the business up. But because it's a leveraged business, you're always kind of as good as your next deal. You know what I mean? Because if you buy something and you can all of a sudden put yourself under massive pressure. And what happened 3 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, Truss, you know, interest rates went up from 0.5% to 5.5%. Yeah.
Why did she do that?
Well, she didn't do it. The markets did it. And I think everything conspired. Apart from the markets doing it, what happened was there was the war in Ukraine. There was a lot of things that all
She
of a
was here
sudden...
for 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, no, but listen.
That's why.
I can't...
Yeah. She had to leave.
Yeah.
Just like it's confidence.
And she killed the Queen.
Yeah, she killed the king. It's a bit of a
That's a
conspiracy, but-
joke,
Yeah.
by the way. That's a joke.
I remember that with the black hens and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is, you can't underestimate. So it goes back to what I was saying again before about your funding. So as I alluded to, we're organic. So therefore, we've got quite a bit of debt. Yeah. All of a sudden, my debt. Let's say, if you've got 10 million debt and your rates go up 5%, yeah, that's what's that going to like?
500 grand.
500 grand.
Yeah.
You've got 20 million, a million. So overnight, your interest payments go, and then all of a sudden, the market shit, you can't sell stuff. Then all of a sudden, a few of your tenants go bust. So you've always got to be on it. It can turn against you really quickly. And to be honest with you, most of the guys I speak to in the business have had a terrible time, including us. We've had a really tough time last few years because we've had to focus on making sure, like reducing our debt, being sensible. You know, the regulations that are coming in all the time. Every week there's something that's bad for property. If it's not the Building Safety Act, like this gateway, then it's like, you know, they brought in the other day that you can't have rent reviews, can't be upward only. Like, oh my God, there's one thing after another. Used to be able to get 20-year leases. Now on lease renewal, people can take 5-year leases. So everything has gone against property, and you've got to adapt. But
I think that's what's helped my business because
yeah,
people like you are being creative and saying, I don't see any money here and
Yeah.
thinking outside the box. And
Yeah.
what's this faith market or these community centres? It's massively helped.
yeah. Do you know what? I don't think. Well, I'm sure you do realise your expertise. I don't think most people have got a Scooby about your business. I mean, whereas, you know, everyone, you get on the internet and work out a little bit about how property works and appraisals and land. Your game is so specialist. I mean, when I look at something, I haven't. Yeah, you go, oh, that's a great building. That might be a church, but I wouldn't know who would that attract to. Why isn't it? You know, often you'll look at a building and you go, you know what? You need a big hall. You haven't got a big hall there. There's no parking. You've got residential neighbours. It hasn't got the use. It's very technical
Sounds
what
like
you
you've
do.
got it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have I got it?
Yeah.
By George, I've got it.
Yeah.
Vince, if we can do it, I'm sure you can do
Yeah.
it.
Well,
Dom.
we haven't done many.
Do you feel as though you, Kia, and Adam, was it?
Adam, yeah.
Do you feel as though you're trusted to take over when
Yes.
Vincent decides to hang his boots up one day?
Yes.
If he does?
Yes, because I think we all bounce off each other, and all our decisions come from a good place. You can't guarantee that 100% of your decisions will come off. It's not that sort of game, but you know, it's about communicating. It's about doing your due diligence properly. It's about all being aligned in the direction that you're taking it.
Is
The
there sorry, I was going to say, without Dad being there, is there a hierarchy within that dynamic, or is it everyone on the same level?
I'm back of the queue, mate, now. I'm literally am back of the queue.
Yeah.
You know, you dealt with Adam, haven't you?
Yeah, he knows his
I mean,
stuff.
Adam and Keir, they're probably the most conservative, cautious people in the whole
Yeah,
world.
Keir's had the ultimate training under Ross Kemp as well, though. Yeah.
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 Evil Ross.
Yeah. Hi, Ross.
I would say, I mean, not in a traditional respect. It's not like if you're in a corporate company where there's layers to hierarchy and, you know, everything has to go through a million tunnels before it gets to the end goal. I think it's that we'll chat if we're looking at a deal to buy in. We'll chat it through with at least one other of us internally, just so that we know that we're on the same page. And then we'll sort of take it from there. That's kind of the
we've got
ballpark,
we've got 2-3 layers of analysing a deal in that, like, and you do it as well, don't you? Like, so you bring in joint venture partners. If you're actually completing on the deal, the banks are so thorough. Do you know what I mean? They get it valued. They get overpriced solicitors to check, you know, literally the ins and outs of a NAT. You know, they look at every aspect of it. So there's quite a few layers to check that you're doing the right thing. But there is the odd deal where you don't need any of that, where you just take a flyer, which we do obviously now and then, but it would be a qualified risk.
I've got a very interesting question. I'd like to know the first deal that you did where you sort of said to yourself, I can have a breather now. I haven't got to panic. And then I'd like to know how you celebrate a deal like that.
Well, there was one. We did a deal. We bought a big site in Commercial Road, and it had a brief on it, a set brief. The local authorities said you can't have more than 600 rooms, habitable rooms, on here. And I got a mate of mine is a very clever architect, and he went and he'd done a lot in the borough, and he said, I can get you 1,000 rooms. So really, we were like, everyone was looking at putting 600 on it, and straight away we were looking at putting 1,000 on it. We structured it, and we all said that if we pull it off, and it was a great deal, we're going to put X amount aside. Thank God I told you we give some money to charity, because this was completely indulgent. We were going to go and stay at the Burj for a week, so we all went to the Burj for a week.
Nice.
And
were you there?
No, I wasn't there.
I don't even know if he was conceived yet, but the problem was I got the most terrible cold on the aeroplane there, and spent like three days in my room. It was a nightmare.
It was a nice room to be stuck in.
It was actually, and they got butlers and stuff. You know what I mean? So they come and check you out every day.
I'm sure you utilise the butler.
Listen, as you know, I've used your dad a few times as a butler. In fact, we got Izzy's 30th tomorrow, and your dad's gonna bring all the glasses round.
So when you guys do a deal, is it on to the next, or do you like to sort of maybe head down the Holly Bush for a couple of pints, or what's the sort of?
Oh, isn't that? He's done it again, the Holly Bush. He's
The
done it
bush.
again. You haven't? You see the link?
What's the Holly Bush?
Our next deal was the
Holly Bush card. Yeah, but that's just
You buying the bush?
coincidence.
No, not the pub. Funny enough,
That doesn't buy pubs anymore.
Oh,
He's
really?
very against buying
I
pubs.
think
at the moment.
McEwen's own that pub. Is it McEwen?
Not
yeah.
McEwen's.
Do you know what's come up though?
McMullen's.
McMullen's.
So what has come up? The Ali Barbers.
Loughton.
Yeah, because I used to see you at Ali Barbers.
Oh
looks
no, I
like he
don't go
works
Ali
there.
at
Barbers
Ali
and
Barbers.
also that lovely Smith's, the hardware shop. Both of those, they're leaving. So I reckon something big's going to
Oh, I could help you out with that maybe.
Okay.
I've got some ideas.
Ali Barbers.
Yeah. Well, no, what you want to do is you want to break a wall in between the two
Yeah.
and then put something there.
Yeah.
What do you want to put there?
Well, I haven't figured that out
What?
yet.
What about a church? Yeah.
So when
figure
Matt
that one out.
worked for us, every building we'd look at, we'd go, so Matt, what do you reckon? What do you think it could be? It would be a
Knock the door.
warehouse, a
Knock the door.
30,000 square
Yeah,
foot
knock the door
warehouse.
for it.
Looks like a pub.
be a pub.
Every building we ever looked at.
There we are. No, but he might be a genius, because one of the first deals that I ever did with my new partner, and it's in Arsenal territory. Is it Highbury Corner where the station
Not the
is?
Coronet.
Yeah, that pub.
The Coronet pub.
That pub. It sort of runs around the back of buildings. That one.
Yeah. And it's got a massive
Yes.
theatre upstairs.
Yes.
We went there, Al.
Hold on. You're
No,
coming
it's
out.
not that
Right.
one.
You're coming
Right.
out of the station.
What, Arsenal station?
Highbury.
Highbury and Islington.
Highbury and Islington.
Oh,
You got-
And then on the right.
You cross Holloway Road. Come around the corner like you're going down St Paul's Road. And it's just on the left. There's a pub.
I think I know what
you
you're
walk,
talking
you
about.
go
yeah.
downstairs and then through, and then I know the building that you're talking.
Anyway, that was a building, and my that's what my partner specialised in doing A3 deals, yeah, pubs and stuff. So I met him really because my uncle went, and he was my cousin.
Is A3 now E?
A3 was pubs. I don't know what it
But
is.
is
now.
It's E now, I think.
Pubs like no A4's pubs. Sorry, but A3 was like food and pubs and all that. Anyway, my uncle, I had a building. I bought Barnet Town Hall, and there was an element of it was a bit listed that we eventually let to Cafe Rouge,
Oh, yeah.
right? And I'd been messing about with it for ages, and my uncle said, use your cousin. I said, my cousin's, I'd had a really bad experience with my cousin where he took me to a site, and then he went, oh, we were in this field, and he went, building's over there. I said, I'm not walking over there. He goes, oh, I'll drive you. I said, how can that be of interest? The building's right in the middle of a field. He goes, no, I promise you, it's an amazing building. Anyway, we've driven, and I'm looking at this cowgate coming up, and he's just accelerating. And I'm thinking, when's he going to stop? And he's just smashed right into it and written the car off. We're sitting there like, I've got a
On
bump on my
purpose?
head, the smoke coming out. I go, fuck's sake, didn't you see it? Didn't you see the cowgate? He went, I haven't got my glasses on. So I thought he was the biggest schmuck ever. And then about 2 years later, my uncle said, oh, your cousin's doing really well. You should give him that building in Barnet. So I gave him the building in Barnet. And because he was a great networker, he got him with a guy that owned Cafe Rouge. They let it to Cafe Rouge. They've done an amazing job. Then I realised this guy's got talent. Then we became partners. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, one of the deals we did, there was a warehouse behind that. So, you know, like you can cut through to Highbury Fields, that little cut through. The building, there was a warehouse around the back of the shop.
Yeah.
And nobody saw it. It was on the open market. And my cousin went, that might be a good pub. Because, like, I'm thinking, well, this is a warehouse behind the shops. My cousin's thinking, you've got a bit of frontage to that roundabout. You were outside the station. You got all the gooners, that are going to drown their sorrows.
I tried to tell him.
Yeah,
you-
he told you.
genius.
Pub. He knew.
Boozer.
Boozer.
I was wrong all along.
Yeah, you were. Are you a billionaire?
Oh, fuck, nowhere near.
Really?
Nowhere near. Are you going to kick me out now?
No. Maybe.
Like, you've got to realise that I think, well, I'm not sure how many property billionaires there are, actually, because
Dyson.
is he a property? Well, he's a
a
Hoover
Hoover
billionaire,
man,
isn't
He's probably got a property.
He probably owns a house.
he? There is a few. There is a few, but most of them are funding geniuses. Do you know what I mean? They
Is
use
that asset rich?
yeah,
cash poor?
securitizations, this stuff like this. I'm just a ducker diver trader. Do you know what I mean? Not when I say I'm not a trader. Sorry, that's unfair to say that. I'm a ducker diver asset manager. So we buy things to manage them to create more value out of them. Whereas some of these guys are just geniuses. You know what I mean? So rather than just buy one deal, they'll go and buy a portfolio of 300 department stores or whatever, you know, because they can get the funding and they can make huge money. I'm not in that league. Not in that league.
Okay.
You own a
Sorry.
couple of shopping centres.
Oh my
and stuff,
God.
don't you?
You got any boats, planes?
Matt's looking down on me now.
No, I'm not.
How dare you not be a billionaire?
Right.
That's what he's thinking.
I did have a boat till last year.
What, as in like a boat or like a super yacht? Or just a yacht?
What have you told him?
No,
Super yacht.
We just let him
It
run.
was on it was at Valentine's Park, basically. I put a deposit down on one of those little wooden thing, like basically I can go there every week and row it round Valentine's Park Lake.
Like the ferry, not the ferry, the
Matt.
canal.
Matt. Just joking.
Oh, ferry. Do you know, I took once me and Don were going to look at a site and I was driving around East London and we saw a sign for the Woolwich Ferry and I went, you ever been on the Woolwich Ferry? And he went, no. I said, let's do it. It's such an experience. Have you been on the Woolwich Ferry?
No.
So random.
Can you, boy, have you been on the Woolwich Ferry?
I used
I
to go
think
West
Don
Ham.
called me after it and just
It's
said,
so
"I've been-"
exciting. Imagine queuing up like with a load of lorries and then getting on a little ferry.
Yeah, a little boat ride.
And you see the barrier, the Thames barrier, I think, as well. You're quite close to that. And then you dock and you come. It's brilliant. It was brilliant.
I
Wasn't
think I would have rather got on your boat than the Woolwich ferry boat. But
Well,
there you go.
it?
So what
Well,
happened with the
I've got
boat?
to tell you, your mum sat on my boat a few times.
Ooh.
No, that's not. a
Wouldn't have that,
euphemism.
Joe.
I watch the way you flirt together. You never know.
No, I did. She used to love Paula. He's not very adventurous, so I used to go in the sea with her and hold her in the sea
Oh.
for security. You know, and she used to like that. In fact, you look a bit like me.
No, you
Is it just
actually
the
really look
glasses?
like his dad.
What?
You,
Yeah, but
I know
yeah,
this is
but
a
Paul
ridiculous.
looks like his dad
This
as
is a
well.
We're all Jewish
ridiculous.
boys. It's-
This is a ridiculous time to come clean. Yeah,
On
but
live
Can I-
on
Can I
camera.
just ask, am I in the will? Because I could do with it right about now, Vince.
no, but you look. You're sort of mentioned in the will.
Yeah.
Okay.
I go, hello, Joe. Sorry, that was an old joke. Yeah, sorry, mate.
so talk to me about the boat. What happened? Did it break?
What happened? Do you know what? It's just that, like everything in life, became more. I suppose unless you are a billionaire, and then you got, you know what? In life, you can have too many choices. So I suppose if you're a billionaire, you employ loads of people to look after things, but then you've got to deal with those loads of people, haven't you? So there's no way around it. It's always ag. So anyway, it just became ag really because I had a little charter business in Mallorca, so it was sensible to have a boat because then I could charter it out and stuff through my mate who was very good. He was, funny enough, he was a lighterman on the Thames, a good mate of ours, Neil. So we did that for about 20, 25 years when the kids were small and they used to love it. But actually, it doesn't make any financial. It's like
I heard it's like the worst investment ever.
it's the worst investment ever because at the point that we stopped chartering it, it just hemorrhages money. You know.
Mm. My next question here is, you said that you wouldn't wear anything red, but someone told me that you
He's-
owned a red car
Yes.
for 5 days.
Yes. Yes, it was a red BMW, and I got it back actually.
When did you have a red?
No, I had a red BMW when I was a kid, and then I must have just met your mum, and Nicola's dad was Lippert Hill. He was an observer in the helicopter squad, and I got up and I don't know. I said, Nicola, I think someone's nicked my car. So for some reason, she was talking to her mum and said, "Oh, someone's nicked Vincent's car," and then about 3 hours later, I got a call from the helicopter. "Oh, it's Tony here, Indy 99. We're just following your car. It's at Waltham Abbey M25. I reported." Anyway, so they found someone driving the car, got it back. But I did have a red BMW. Yeah, do you know, I don't like red, not because of the goons, but I never would wear red. It's not my
It's an
colour.
aggressive colour.
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
aggressive. You've
quite
got to be leery,
aggressive.
haven't you?
Bit
Got
like
to
the
be leery
devil.
to wear red.
Yeah.
I couldn't wear red. So therefore, yeah, I don't really have a problem with any of that red. I mean, if you gave me something really nice, you're quite red. You're quite nice.
Thank you.
More pink, actually. Is that,
I do wear pink a lot.
is that pink or is that like...
Yeah, this is pink, but I
Yeah.
think it's been
That's
in the
like
wash.
salmon pink, isn't it? Yeah.
Salmon?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
the
like
light
Baby pink.
Huh?
Yeah.
Bit baby pink, I
Like
think.
fluffy, yeah.
My last name is Pinkus, so I wear a lot of pink.
Yes, I know. So I know I've only got one from a JV partner, a guy called Pinkus Weinberger.
That can't be a
you're
real
not
name.
related,
It
are
sounds,
you?
it sounds
Right, and he
very
used to
Jewish.
say to me,
Swine
he said,
burger.
Vincent, he said, I can't go to the game on Saturday. If you got the midweek game, I'd like to go. Can you take
That's
me?
not his actual name, Pinkus
Pinkus
Weinberg.
Weinberger. When I met him, he was 29. He had like 14 kids. God knows how many kids he's got now. I maybe met him. He's probably in his 40s now, maybe even 50. I don't know.
Weinberg.
Yeah, and the proof is, he owns a shop in Stanford Hill where all the Orthodox guys get their hats and coats. He owns the main shop. Pinkus Weinberger. Hello, Pinkus.
A lot of money, those hats, aren't they?
They're really
I
expensive.
sort of think that's where they keep all their money. They're massive, aren't they?
Yeah, what's so annoying is when you type, anyone types up on the internet who is Matt Pincus's dad,
Yeah.
it comes up with this guy called Lionel Pincus, who was a multi-billionaire that owned this massive music label, and everyone thinks that I come from billions.
Pinkus.
Little do they know.
It's a great
you
name,
relate
though,
to
Pinkus.
Weinberg.
Yeah, Pinkus Weinberger.
You like it, don't you, Pinkus Weinberger? So I call you Matthew Pinkus? Matthew Pinkus, yes. I know Matthew, lovely boy, can I know?
I wish I grew up with him. Speaking of growing up
Yes.
with Joe,
Yeah, Joe never
heard-
did.
I
yeah.
didn't grow up.
No,
with
no,
him.
no.
No.
You know what I mean. I heard that the only reason Joe is sat here right now is because of you.
You
Yeah.
introduced
Yeah.
me.
Oh
so-
my God! Now, oh God!
Yeah,
I
I,
don't know
used
about-
I used to work with Joe indirectly.
yeah,
You know
because
that?
when he was doing the
You're,
development,
you're
in
the
Hackney Road.
people placer for every
Oh,
Jewish boy.
yeah, because your
from
other one is
Essex.
Yeah, we were in Mallorca, and you were saying you're looking for someone, right? And I went, "There's a chap I know. I think he's a good kid. Get him in."
But Joe, fun enough, I knew Joe was a bright guy. Oh, I really might be revealing this. So he went to the interview, and I built him up, and to be honest, he'd probably been completely stagnating in this show flat in Hackney Road. So maybe he just wasn't with it. And they ran me, and they went,
You sure?
"It's you, yeah." He went,
Are you
He
sure?
said the same to me.
yeah, he said.
Yeah.
Alex ran me and went, "I'm just not sure." He wasn't like. He was a bit quiet. He was a bit. I went, "That doesn't sound like Joe." You like that?
With his long hair.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was.
my long hair. Yeah.
And I went, "Look, actually, I did. I'm going to give myself credit here. I went, look, I don't know why he was like that, but that's not Joe. Yeah, that's not Joe. I'm saying Joe, he's a really good guy. Yeah, and
Yeah,
Alex
came
went-
back for a second one. We rolled the dice.
and he was a bit
Yeah.
more charismatic
Yeah,
rather
he
than
was. Yeah.
hello, my name's Joe. yeah, I want to get a proper touch. Yeah.
Oh, you're getting baited out badly.
It's
It's
nothing
going all
I
red.
didn't know. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
did you really back Joe, or was it a bit
No,
of
you backed
nepotism?
him.
Were
No,
you
no,
biased?
because he's.
Yeah.
Look, Joe's. Well, you know, he's a lovely boy. I've got apart from the
he is a lovely
slight
boy.
Gooner scenario when he was young, when I felt actually got no problem really with like if you want to support Arsenal, but I think we all must admit you can't change your team. It says something about you if you change
It
your
is
team.
sacred.
Jensen came to the office yesterday in an Arsenal top, so
No,
Like father, like son.
he did.
well, go on.
And
You
I'm taking him Spurs on Saturday. So
oh
that
my
was-
Honestly.
God, that'd be disappointing for him.
Yeah.
Whenever you take your kids, Spurs always let you down. Like,
Well, how
always.
long
No,
did you last
last
time?
time he
Didn't-
lasted 14 minutes.
Yeah,
Didn't see a goal. I watched the last half hour at home. We won 4-0.
I think
Against
Pinkus
Villa.
would like this story. You know how
Tell me.
how I made sure that my children were very big Spurs fans.
Cool.
I got a jug, and when when they were like really small, I used to play the Tottenham. I'd never played it with you because it would be inappropriate. But they'd be in the bathroom and I go, "Do you want some beer?" And they go, "Yeah." And I go, "Let me just have a taste first." I go, and then I go, "Oh!" I'd spit it in their faces, literally. I wouldn't hurt them, by the way, but I'd spit in their face and go, "Oh, that's West Ham beer." Ugh. And then I'd go through all the teams and Arsenal beer and everything, but like, they were drenched, like they couldn't see. Oh, no. All of a sudden I go, "Oh, Oh, it's Tottenham beer. Have a bit of that.
Oh, that's genius.
And it worked, and they're all fanatical.
Joe, you've got
I've
to take
got
a
to
leaf
try
out
that.
his book.
Jensen's
Yeah,
lost.
but-
I've
Jensen
got
would
to
have
He's
no
not to be
interest.
trusted. He'll get a baseball bat or something like that and start going, Jensen, do you want some West Ham baseball bat? Or do you want some
feel like-
Tottenham baseball bat?
I'd be the one to end up getting hit by Jensen, I think, at this rate.
Oh, he's lovely, Jensen. He's such a nice.
Are you
yeah,
going to
kid.
do the same as your dad in terms of trying to help people out whenever you can?
What, in terms of Spurs or?
No.
You can't help me. It's a disease, isn't it?
In terms of putting the right people in front of the right people.
Oh, what, like a placing people?
like a bit of a not ventriloquist?
Yeah, I believe-
philanthropist.
Ventriloquist.
Sorry, are we talking
He didn't have
about?
his hand up my arse.
like a morally philanthropic. What am I saying?
Philanthropic.
Yes.
Are we talking about opening the door, helping people get
Yeah.
a step
That's what I'm
up?
saying.
Yeah, definitely.
Placed a few people, haven't you?
Have I placed a few? I've tried placing people.
Yeah.
Must feel good.
Yeah, do you know what? It's
I think it's really
yeah,
important.
you feel good. You feel good about yourself when you help people progress in different ways, and I think it's important because the truth is, you got to treat other people how you would like to be treated. Everyone's been that person at one stage in their life, you know.
Yeah.
Not only that, think how important a career is so important, yeah. To have purpose, to aspire and everything else. And it's so hard sometimes getting your foot in the door. I don't know what it's like nowadays. I imagine it's really difficult because
Even harder.
Hmm?
Even
Even
harder.
harder,
The amount
innit?
of approaches I
Yeah.
get at the moment.
so, sometimes like it just, the new thing at charities now, isn't it? These like, I've been to a few charities recently and they've got like an internship as one of the things that you can bid for. And they go for like so much money. Like I've been to some of these, I haven't been for a few years, but some of these like might be an internship at Apple or something, like so if you're a rich punter, you're going to pay whatever for your kid to do that. So, I mean, it's a bit unfair really that someone can leapfrog like that. But yeah, I think that might be my best advice, whatever people do say to me. The first thing I try and establish is, does that person want to do what they do? So for example, I got a call from my mate and he said, my son wants to be a professional gambler and I want him to get into property. So I said, all right, send him over. So I talked to him and he just had no real interest in property. I said, well, it's like pointless you doing it. So I rang him up and I said, you know what, it's just let him follow his dream. Anyway,
He's homeless now.
no. The weird thing, he might well be homeless, but within a year he won $500,000 in Vegas.
Wow.
So
That's kind of like you, man, isn't it? You came and worked, but you didn't want to do it, and we went to follow your dream.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And I'm still stuck here with you lot. No, I'm joking.
if only
came
you would have
back.
listened to him about
Yeah.
the boozers. Yeah.
If only.
If only.
But didn't you say about every building you ever saw?
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what advice, barring luck, because I think everyone needs a bit of luck, what do you think the key to success is? It's a very vague question,
I
but
think you've got to be in. I was going to say you've got to be interested in what you do. Some people probably hate what they do and make money, but I think it really helps if you like what you do. Yeah. I think recognise your weaknesses. It's very important as well. So don't try and do everything. You know what I mean? If you're the guy that is good at finding the deal, and you're not good at getting the planning, and you're not good at funding it, go to people that are really good at that. We were talking about all these sayings like location, taking a profit, things like that. People often just wait too long. You just take a profit or wipe your face of a deal. You know what I mean? Set your target. If you don't achieve it, just get rid of it, move on. So yeah, just all the fundamental things that you hear. And I think,
Can I say you got a reputation for sharing and joint ventures, as he said earlier?
are you talking about my sex life or property now?
Probably both, but let's talk to property at the moment. Yeah.
Remember his son's there, so.
So, do you reckon that's part of your success? There's a lot of guys who are very good but very aggressive. It's my deal, and hold on to it and don't share. But you're very transparent. Come in, and then people want to bring you stuff.
Yeah, but say
and
like
you've
the
grown
deal,
that way.
the deal like that we did together, the school that we bought that we mentioned
Yep.
before. Say I tried to protect that and try and do it myself. One, I might not have been able to do it, yeah. And two, I might have done it and not made any money. But straight away, myself and Dominic recognised the fact. I can't remember what happened first, but I think Dominic went, "Oh, you know what? Joe's mentioned Bright Horizons are looking for somewhere, whatever." And really like as a collaboration, the best deals are great collaborations where everyone has a bit of input, everyone does their thing, and then you get the maximum result. So yeah, I would say always surrender yourself to people that know a bit more about things than you do. You know.
What's next on the list in terms of what you're trying to achieve, VFund, or personally?
I think,
He's getting married next year.
yeah, I'm getting married next year.
Are you?
Yeah,
Mazel tov, yeah.
in Ireland.
Nice.
He'll be the first Jewish man to get married in Ireland, I'm sure.
You get married in Ireland?
I am, yeah. So
His
that's,
father-in-law is from Dublin.
yeah, personally, I've got that to look forward to. And then I think work-wise, I think at the moment, I mean, when I've spoken to Kia recently, we both of the view that if we can do a couple of nice deals, which are maybe more for the wealth preservation side of it and putting in the portfolio and, you know, getting some longer term income with good tenants, that's going to help. But also, you know, trying to do two or three trades sort of every 6 months isn't a bad aim. Because the truth is, like, you could do 15 deals in a year, but only 2 of them might come good, or you could do 4 or 5 deals and all of them come good.
Yeah.
That's where I think our game is quite difficult, in the sense that it's quite difficult to measure success because it's so intense and there's so much going on. You could be a busy fool, or you could be a genius, and it's hard to see sight of that in that moment in time, you know.
Yeah, and you go with the flow. Like, if there's no deals to be done, don't do them. You know, like we're very aware. We've got like quite a bit of property that we're holding, so why not maximise? You know, sometimes you're looking for a new deal that you say, oh, do you know what, I can make do, and you can make a few $100 grand, or whatever. Well, actually, maybe if you focused on one of your existing deals and made that a better deal, you'd make that money anyway. So that's what we're trying to do. So we're in terms of our journey at the moment, we've got like a lot of stuff consented. We've got a lot of deals that are coming to fruition. So we're really focusing on getting them over the line, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Probably to get a bit more. I know this is the same for for sort of any company, but it's probably to get some proper cash in the bank as well, you know, on top of what we've already got. Because, you know, if we can come through this bad recession, which might be another 2 years,
are
or it
we
might
in a
be another
recession?
4 years. I believe we're still in.
Yeah, I think we are in that. I would say I don't know what if someone wants to look up the dictionary. Recession economically is when you
Free
when you
periods.
contract. When you
So
contract.
I think it's either 3 or 4 consecutive periods of no growth in GDP.
What's
But
a
I would say
period?
the property market is generally
Quarters even.
Quarter.
it's contracted, isn't it? If you saw delivery numbers for finished units in London, it's like virtually nothing. So there's not a lot being delivered in London. I mean, these guys are busy because they're very specialist. But if you're just in the general property market, everything's right. It's even hard selling your house, isn't it? It's like if you go.
Has your model had to change over the last 3-4 years? Being land and planning play, I mean, people don't want to build. That's the problem at the moment.
Yeah. So
are you having to
the
shift
first thing that
in-
we did, so this was a typical, like, it's probably one of the deals that it's really been painful for us, but it shows you how you've got to be resourceful. So we bought a site in Chiswick, got planning for 150 flats, flogged it, made a load of money. So we thought, we'll buy next door. So we bought next door, got planning for 250 flats. Had to complete on it just at the time Liz Truss came in, sort of thing, and the market just tanked. Couldn't sell it, had to buy it, you know, and it was a big lump. And all of a sudden you're thinking, oh shit, I've got this bit of land and building costs have gone up, interest rates have gone up, blah, blah, blah. So we thought, well, okay, we'll go for students. We've got planning for student. Thought we were there, and then they bring this gateway in. So now which is the Building Safety Act. So you can't really sell a site until you've got this gateway, because otherwise you don't know when you can deliver it. It might take you 6 months, might take you 3 years, sort of thing. So then you have to invest to do that. So all of a sudden, this little deal where I'd exchanged, probably wasn't going to have to complete. I've had to complete and just invest in it year after year after year with no income. And it's been painful. And now we're probably talking about building it out for a fund. So you just adapt. You just adapt. And sometimes I just remember, like, the guys I used to work with, this is probably a typical property story as well. They bought this site, which they thought they were going to get flats on in somewhere like Barnet. Could not get flats because there was a big building that the planner said is locally listed on it. So they they said, well, what would you allow us to do? They went, the only thing you could do is probably a care home. So they did it as a care home. They ran it as a care home. They became one of the biggest operators of care homes.
Bit of an
And-
untapped market, care
yeah.
homes.
Well, we do it now, don't we?
Yeah.
So
So
we're
like
just sort of
luxury,
getting older every day.
luxury care. The thing, the different
Even us.
forms of
Even us.
different forms of care. But yeah, you're right in the fact that it's a necessity-based business, industry and business. And there's, among most boroughs, there's an undersupply. So naturally, there should be demand where there's undersupply, and it's a great business. But the ones that are more viable are, these big bright new facilities where you can charge £1,300 a month or whatever it might be.
It's incredibly specialist again because it's all about what do they call it? Like you got obviously got to know the demand and what people have got expendable income and this sort of thing, and are there other facilities in that area and stuff like that. So again, it's just as specialist as the church business. But what I didn't realise, which is unbelievable when you think about it, it makes sense. Most people don't want to go in a nursing home because they're bloody expensive. So I can't remember the percentage. The average stay in a nursing home before people die is like, I don't know, it could be something crazy, like
4
3
years?
months or something. Yeah?
No.
No, it's something crazy. But in that time, you're laying out a fortune. Yeah, that means a lot of old people. I don't know, we need to look it up. I'm sure I've got it
Do
wrong.
you think that they're buzzing when people die?
Who's buzzing?
Who's the care home?
Yeah, the care home operators.
No.
No, because
Oh,
They lose
that was
money.
quick.
They
Next one.
They lose money.
yeah, but they might have a
But
void.
they're charging the same.
No, I think
Okay,
they're
mate,
charging.
They might have a void because I suppose it depends on the area and what type of care it is. I think for a luxury care home business, they're going to be hit more when someone dies than one that relies on the local authority.
But again, if you bought one where there's a great deal, so we just sold one in Gerrard's Cross. We got planning for like 80 beds. We've sold it to an operator, and in Gerrard's Cross, it's a very, very expensive area, and they can charge something like £2.5 grand. I don't know, is it a week or a month?
Yeah, no, you might be right. I think it might. I said a month, but it probably is
I think it's a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a couple of grand a week. Because, again, the model is, isn't it? Like, you're at a point where you literally can't stay in your own home. Yeah, your parents want you to be looked after. You've got a house that's worth a few bob, so you have to sell your house, and then this is the cruel bit, I suppose. If you sell your house for £1 million, it's not the end of the world if it costs you 100 grand for a year and then you die, sort of thing. But and then you're in lovely surroundings and everything else. Look, we're more involved in the planning. I don't really understand the model, but I'm just saying it did surprise me when I was told that the average stays before people die is very, very short. People don't go in care homes for 10 years.
Okay, so less than a year.
My nan's been going
Is
about
it?
4.
Yeah, it must
No,
be
I'm
less
asking
than a
you.
year.
What, in a cab?
Yeah.
Open one in Houghton.
Respect.
I've got 2 people to put in it.
There's one, Hilary Dennis, Snaresbrook.
Yeah.
Good one.
So I went the other day because I do a bit for Jewish Care. I went to the new one, Singular House.
Yeah, apparently it looked great.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's
Yeah.
like a hotel. It's like that's why it should
Are
be.
you a big part of that project?
Not at all.
No?
Listen, I'm on a committee. We do the sports. We do like every year. You ever been to any of them where we do?
Yeah,
them? Yeah. Like so we do-
For oh no.
yeah, I think we had David. That one,
Yeah,
isn't
David
it?
D, yeah, I was
D,
there.
we had the other
Freddie
day.
Lundberg
We had
was
Harry Redknapp. I mean, Merson was brilliant. All the
Do you think you've got more aggressive, or as you've got older, or does it
oh,
come
really
with the
aggressive. Like,
experience?
oh my god, I've been messed around at the moment by a company and a solicitor, and I just keep losing my temper. And I wrote this really long letter, and then the agent said to me, like, can you send it to me and let me send it? But I don't really want to send it until I've conducted business with this guy. And it was just telling these guys, like, no, you know what? Sometimes you got to have some morals, and you got to think about, would you like to be treated like that and stuff like that. And it was like, I didn't think it was that bad, but he just said, like, I don't know, I think the fella might take it the wrong way. But I just, you're right. I just wanted to go and I just want to have an argument with the guy because I was so annoyed. But you think about it, half these problems that are made, they're all avoidable, aren't they? It's just some bloke being an arsehole, isn't it? Or
Egos.
someone being difficult.
Somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Couple more questions.
Yes.
Vince, how would you like to be remembered?
Kind. I would. Kind and nice.
I think you're a mensch from
Yeah.
from the 2
Vincent
hours.
thinks I'm a mensch. Thank you. That
Weinberg.
is one of the nicest things someone can say about a fellow person.
Could do.
Being Pinker's Weinberg.
Okay, so that's it. You just want to be remembered as kind.
No, sorry. Yeah, like I'm not like a celebrity. I mean, I just want to be. No, I think you have to be. I think it's important. You got to be able to live with yourself at the end of the day, haven't you? There's no point like doing nasty things, making a load of money. Some people can live with themselves, but I think like I haven't been. I'm no angel. I've made mistakes. I've done things that I shouldn't have done. Really, like probably that I wouldn't do now. When I was young, like you feel like you're desperate. I've got to do this deal. I've got to do this deal, and you literally. You'd walk over, you'd stand on someone and get hold of a deal. Now, I suppose I can afford, one, not to do that, but two, I can also be a bit philosophical about it and say, well, could I live on myself if I did it? So I just think you just got to be true to yourself. Be true to yourself.
Is your dad your hero?
Yeah.
Oh.
Jeez.
So, quick story about Dominic, because we had, I got 4 kids. Dominic is the youngest, and my wife just basically gave up after the 3rd. She just didn't. One, she didn't want anymore, but two, she had her hands full with a couple of the others. So I sort of, I would say, do you remember me bringing you up? I feel like I brought you up.
Yeah.
I kind of spent a lot of time with Dominic, and Dominic was he was very, very cute. He still is, but he was very, very cute as a baby, and he used to hold onto my arm and go, "Oh, Daddy, you're so warm. Can I have a cuddle, Daddy?"
This
So
is
warm.
getting cut from it.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, yeah, you
It's
cut it.
not.
That is well cute.
He used to rub. I've got pictures of him like literally leaning against me. Oh, Dad, you're so warm.
You actually really look like Ronnie O'Sullivan now. Think about it.
I've had that. I get the guy that's on. I get the actor that's always on the BBC programmes. That's from Loughton Reppin, and I get
Daniel
Harry
May.
Kane.
Hashtag Brady.
Harry
Yeah,
Kane, they thought.
Harry Kane.
No, I see
No,
Mashtag.
not Harry Kane. Yeah, I get. If I think I've got a better nose than Mashtag though. His nose.
Yeah, I think you do as
Should we
well.
we'll have a look-alike before we finish?
Well, Simon Jordan and
We've
Ronnie
done it,
O'Sullivan.
Simon, I don't like.
That's
Yeah,
Harrison
Jurgen
Klopp.
Klopp.
yeah.
Slightly.
Jurgen Klopp. Yeah.
Very overweight version. I've had a few pints bought for me in a pub being called Jurgen Klopp.
I
Is
bet
it
you
the
said no to
accent?
this.
It's exactly, yeah.
Back up.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? These adverts he's doing everywhere
I said,
about holidays and Booking.com.
good luck to him. I'm sure you must come across him in Mallorca.
Someone said he's got a place in Santa
sponsor,
Ponza.
isn't
Yeah. Do you know what I'm hoping? I'm playing a lot.
I see. Is it James Franco?
Yeah.
See a little bit of James Franco.
shut up.
Oh, he
likes
wishes.
it. Yeah, he likes it a lot.
Fuck it.
His head's good. Not that
No,
it's possible.
No,
James
the upper half, not the
Franco?
bottom half. The upper
What?
half.
No, the younger brother,
Oh, Dave.
Dave Franco.
You know the one that's in the
Don't know what it
interview,
is.
the film.
Yeah, James Franco.
That is James Franco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's a
what it
bit
looks like, but
crazy.
you all look like different nationality. You all do, because I think you look like you could be like Italian or Portuguese.
I've been accused of everything.
You look
from a
American,
American.
and you look Colombian.
Colombian. I get Mexican, so
Yeah,
I,
you do, yeah.
my
It's the
my
tax.
mates call me Jukexican.
Or Portuguese. A little bit Portuguese.
I am Sephardi. My nan's maiden name's Da Costa. So
Oh.
yeah. Before we go,
Yes.
I want you to nominate 3 people to come on, sit down, and do this podcast.
I would nominate Frank Camilleri, Sean Taylor, and Phil Spencer.
Okay.
And then I would also nominate Gary Kilby and possibly Tom Kilby, his son, because they're both very creative, very interesting, lots of good stories, lots of experience, lots of wisdom.
Fellas, thank you so much. That was fun. Good to get to know. I know you, Don, but very good to finally meet you.
No, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you all very much for watching. Until next time, God bless.